Hi, this video is part one of Is This Genome Graffiti? Um, my sister sent me an email, I think it was last week. I was really busy, didn't get a chance to look at it. Oh, it was February, it was 2 weeks ago. But she sent me this video, and she said, and then she followed up saying it's kind of boring, just more censorship stuff and other stuff. Never mind unless you have lots of time. So I didn't have time. That was 2 weeks ago until um, uh, recently. So I'm just going to play you this a 3-minute section in this part one, and then I'm going to discuss it in part two of this video.
Here. So this is from Christine. She said, "Hello, I just finished the 9-part series. Big thumbs up." Well, thank you, Christine. I would like to have something clarified. It was mentioned in many interviews that the mRNA vaccine messes with our genes, but according to the CDC, mRNA vaccines do not interact with our DNA in any way because the vaccine does not enter the nucleus. I have no science or medical background, so what am I not understanding? Can you speak to that?
I can actually. So 3 months ago or 4 months ago, if you asked me this question, I'd say, yeah, the RNA goes into the cytoplasm. The RNA goes to the site of the ribosome. It gets translated into a protein, and then that cell has spike proteins in it, and they may be expressed on the surface of the cell. Fine, done. Never enters the nucleus, right? But then there's a study that came out. The study that came out where they took coronavirus and they infected human cell lines. Some were infected with HIV and others were not. And they found that the RNA actually made it into the human genome in those cell lines because HIV has its own reverse transcriptase. If there's already reverse transcriptase in the cell, then it'll pick up any RNA and put it in the nucleus. There's a risk of that happening anyway. So then in the cells that didn't have HIV, they found that it happened there too. And they hypothesized that our genome has silent viruses that are anciently acquired that actually encode reverse transcriptase. So this is not peer-reviewed. It's on the archives. It's not peer-reviewed. I have to say that again. It's not peer-reviewed. It's not replicated. But we can no longer say, and CDC should no longer say, we're 100% certain it's not going to go into our genome. Now, the further on that question is, mess with our genes. Okay, so random insertional mutagenesis is likely to lead to cancer, for sure. We know this. The question is whether this will be site-directed. Does it go to a specific place? And if so, is that a dangerous place for humans? And we don't know that. If it goes to a specific place for humans, or eventually, say, over the next 500 years, it finds a way to only infect, right? Then what it would do is it would actually reside in our genome. Our cells would start to express this protein, and our immune system would fail to recognize that particular spike protein as foreign, right? So we would not have a very large immune reaction to this virus, and then it could become a very serious illness. So the long-term consequence of vaccinating something that gets into our genome, it's haphazard. There's really a very strange population-wide experiment.
Now that section was very interesting to me and not boring at all. I'm not a doctor, so I had to unpack it a little bit what he was saying. But and I'm going to do that in the second video. But as you can see, like like what's going on, and we have choices. I know what my choice is, unless I have to travel, and then I'll look hard, to see if there's a conventional version of it, versus this mRNA version, and see if I can get that if I need to travel. But I might not need to travel till November, so we'll see. Okay, on to part two.